we're going to talk about the Omicron, and I'm just going to warn everybody, including Pasta, this isn't a time to rant against the CDC-approved vaccine. This is specific that are safe and effective. This is a time to talk about reality versus fantasy, right? What the media, mainstream media, propaganda machine portrays, the alarmism they portray versus what's actually happening. So the Omicron virus is actually, and this is directly from South Africa, one of the countries that has been banned, travel has been banned into the United States. Several, countries in the continent of Africa have been banned from travel into the United States and by other countries because of this fear. So this is from City AM, and they say COVID silver lining, extremely mild Omicron variant is rapidly killing off much more deadly Delta coronavirus mutation. So they're actually kind of looking at the good part of this Omicron. And it said excitement is growing among coronavirus experts in Southern Africa and around the world as it increasingly seems that the new Omicron variant is rapidly replacing the much more deadly Delta mutation. Experts are so ecstatic because it seems more and more that the Omicron variant is much more contagious and dominant than Delta, but also much more milder and less deadly. Some experts are therefore even urging countries to drop restrictions and let Omicron spread, so the more infectious but less severe variant can kill off Delta quicker. The World Health Organization has said there's early evidence to suggest that Omicron has, quote, increased risk of reinfection, and its rapid spread in South Africa suggests it has growth advantage compared to Delta. Therefore, virologist Mark Van Rans pointed out that if the Omicron variant is less pathogenic, but with greater ineffectivity, allowing Omicron to replace Delta would be very positive. In fact, Omicron could turn out to be a, quote, storm in a teacup and may blow over within a few weeks, according to the former head of British government's vaccines task force. His name is Clive Dix, and he said that he is pretty calm and not really worried about the new variant, that if we look at all the facts that we know so far, none of them are heading in the direction of being a super concern. We're not seeing serious disease yet, and we're not seeing death. The picture looks like it's now a milder virus, and that's what you expect with viruses. They mutate to become more transmissible. They're not looking to be deadly because otherwise they don't get transmitted. This is what he said. And to quote him again, he said, "We are not seeing serious disease. We are not seeing death. Everything will calm down soon. Omicron won't be a big story in a few weeks' time." This is the scientists, the people in charge saying this. He also added, "I think this could be even a storm in a teacup. It could be that in 2 weeks' time, we're back to just measuring the number of people with Delta and there's less people in the hospital, and we may be at the tail of this. In fact, Omicron may turn from a curse into a blessing by diluting the severity of the disease and eventually banishing Delta." Dix stressed. And he said, this person who is a microbiologist at the NICD, Annie von Gottbergs, cautioned against linking the rise of Omicron just yet. She said, "We are seeing that there was an increase in influenza cases, but just in the last month or so. So we need to be really careful to look at the other respiratory infections. We are looking at the data very, very carefully, but at the moment, I'm not too sure that we can link it definitively to Omicron," because what they were saying is that there is more infections and hospital admissions, and that was related to Omicron. That's what the media was saying. But she's saying there is no proof that that's even necessarily the case. And then just lastly on this article, that there are criticisms from these people who have jumped into conclusions, because on Wednesday, the Transport Ministry issued a request to international airlines to stop taking new reservations for flights coming into Japan until the end of December as an emergency precaution to defend against Omicron. But this was retracted a day later after receiving criticisms from inside and outside the country. The Transport Ministry has retracted the request for a uniform stoppage on new bookings and notified airlines. Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno told reporters. Japan has reported of 2 cases of Omicron. The WHO then is now calling for an end to these travel restrictions And they have urged countries around the world not to impose flight bans on southern African nations due to concerns over the Omicron variant. In fact, the WHO fiercely lashed out at the UK and other countries, calling their response extreme. So just out of what I read, I don't know if you guys noticed, but just out of what I read, it's obvious that they're saying that the response has been an exaggeration, that the response has been extreme, that this is absolutely uncalled for. But I just want to show real quick the response from the mainstream media in North America, the response from the mainstream media in general. We have the valuable and amazing New York Times on this Sunday, December 5th, 2021. Vaccine demand in the U.S. rises as Omicron fears grow. The Washington Post, where democracy dies in darkness every single day. How scary is Omicron? Scientists are racing to find answers. CNBC, more than half of employers to require COVID vaccines as Omicron fears grow. They didn't even switch the title.
Yeah. That was CNBC, by the way, the last one. Oz, if you can throw that one up too as well.
Sorry, I'm going a little fast.
No, it's okay. It's my fault because I accidentally dropped off, hit the wrong button, and he's trying to get me back in here. But yes, fam, I like the way you said democracy dies every day. Washington Post even says,
Yeah, I'll just wait until we're back in it. But just basically the exaggeration. It should be slide 28, Oz. It's the exaggeration of the media, right? You guys can see it right there.
Yep.
And then the next one would be 29 is Reuters. You can see that they said South Korea widens vaccine pass requirements as Omicron fears rise. So this is they're acting like this Omicron is the most dangerous thing ever, when in reality, even the WHO is saying that these reactions are extreme. And I also wanted to show Walker Bragman, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. He wants us to lock down now because they said another Omicron case is detected in the US, this time in Minnesota, a resident who traveled to New York City. And he's like, and that's that. We need a lockdown now. Really? You wanna call for a lockdown right now on the basis of one alarmist article from the mainstream media you say you don't trust, that you say you advocate against, yet you're just taking their word and their alarmist word? Oh, literally, you obviously didn't do the research and look at what the WHO is saying, what the science is saying, that this is actually a storm in the teacup, that these reactions have been excessive, exaggerated, that people need to stop the bans. The WHO is calling us to stop the bans, to stop the traveling restrictions. Why then is the mainstream media and every alarmist, progressive journalist literally calling for lockdowns, calling for mandates, calling for some sort of draconian measures that will destroy the working class and hurt the economy that is already hurting? Costa.
Well, first off, I think we need to call him by his right name. It's independent media champion Walker Bragman thinks that we should lock down. Let's be honest and fair with the guy up there. I mean, how badly does this guy want a job on the mainstream media? He's just making it obvious, and it's ridiculous. It really, really is. But I want to digress back, fam, to the first part of this section when you were reading some of this stuff and talking about the WHO saying people were a little bit too jumpy in the situation, and how a lot of the doctors and some of the doctors in South Africa were saying that the actual symptoms are very mild. Goose told me the other day, he goes, there's a silver lining when it comes to the situation, is that if you've been, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, if you haven't gotten COVID, this would be the strain to get, because it's less deadly, it's less harmful, whatnot, and therefore it would give you robust, enduring immunity down the road. So there is a silver lining with this situation. I think it was like thunder in a teacup was kind of said before, in that situation. But that is something that we really need to talk about, because I mean, people have made the jokes before. It's like, well, damn, I just want to get Corona so then I can beat it and not have to worry about it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, this is the situation where if that were to be true, this would be the actual variant, because this variant is found to be mild compared to what happened in the Delta.
According to the WHO, the World Health Organization, right? This variant is found to be mild. Now we don't have confirmation on what Goose said because we're, and we're on YouTube. So let's be careful on making those assertions.
I said people have made the
yeah.
joke. People have made the joke. I've said it.
Yeah.
People have made that joke before that I hope I get corona, so I don't have to deal with it anymore, and therefore I can get the natural immunity that comes with it and stuff.
Right.
That's the joke that people have been made. But we cannot ignore the fact that a lot of these people are saying right now that this variant right here has been less harmful than the other ones. So that would beg the question, fam, why? Why? And I don't know if we should answer that now. Maybe we'll double back to this question and answer this when we get a chance when we're on Rokfin only. So the audience out there should do the same thing. When we get to Rokfin, answer the question, why? Why are they now jumping the gun and saying, whoa, people like Walker Bragman, we got to lock down again. That's it. That's that. Because he's not the only one, fam. As we know, the mainstream media is now going crazy, jumping out there. You get Fauci on TV. Enough is enough. We got to kick this in the butt. So we will hold on to that thought, ladies and gentlemen. We'll double back to why.
Yeah. And I just, and I'm glad that there are people like Dan Cohen who posted that tweet with the headlines, how he said, it's super mild and hasn't killed a single person, but headline writers are pumping out alarmist propaganda to justify more vaccine mandates. Corporate media is the enemy of the people. And I mean, he's absolutely right. And this is how the excessive hyperbole is what a lot of people have a problem with. Like, if you're going to talk about something, let's be real and let's talk about it like as what it is, rather than the alarmist headlines that get a lot of idiots duped into demanding unnecessary lockdowns that really hurt the working class. So
well, they hurt more than the working class. We've kind of talked about that. There's a lot of people who get hurt when it comes to the lockdowns, and I just want to point out that was just Dan Cohen's opinion that we're putting out there right now as well. Fam, a lot of people
but
are also go ahead.
No, I was just saying they hurt. I mean, I don't really care if like a 1%er gets hurt. But they're not. They're making profit. They're making tons and tons of money. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, Pfizer. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, how these people are getting rich off of that, right? And it hurts. And I consider even small business owners working class. So the working class includes a lot of people. So I think, when I say working class, I mean everybody that works for a living.
Fam, you're talking about small businesses. You're throwing a right-wing talking point out there. OMG.
Not at all. Not at all.